Well, my goodness, the market was as red could get today. In fact, it took a loss. S&P 500 took a loss of 4.8%. That is the largest drop since June of 2020, and it wiped out $2.65 trillion out of the market. So this was hopefully the bottom. I mean, we still have tensions obviously going on, and we really won't know more until we get closer to April 9th. That's when all of these tariffs take effect. So that's kind of another D-Day. It seems like we just keep, pushing that date further and further out until we can finally get some resolution to all of this drama. But one thing it's really important is with this elevated VIX, it's jumping on and taking advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. If you're fortunate enough to have cash on the sidelines, and me and a lot of my members did have cash ready to deploy today. In fact, we finished fleshing out a lot of our QQQ and SPY leaps that go out to 2027. We wanted to create that base of leaps that will continue to grow over time, and we will be selling daily, weekly, monthly calls against those leaps. We've already made some really good money with our initial position, and I think everyone saw the potential, and they definitely wanted to take advantage of that as the market tries to rebound sometime here, hopefully soon. I was saying with all this bleeding going on, we need the bleeding to stop so it can form a scab so we can start to heal and go back the other way. And it seems like the dip just keeps on dipping. But I don't know if you listen to Tom Lee and if you like his perspective. He did share some commentary today, and he was saying that he thinks history will show that we have definitely bottomed out. But who knows? You really can't guess that. And I'm not going to be as foolish as to try to guess the bottom, but I will take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. And speaking of opportunities, I could not help but notice Palantir and how it has performed in this crazy market. So most all of the stocks that I trade have fallen below their 200-day moving average and stayed there. Even the major indexes are below their 200-day moving average. But Palantir has yet to even hit it. And so I just found that super interesting. And to me, that tells me that investors that have this stock, whether it be institutions or individual investors, they know the value of what they're holding. And they are not willing to give it up, even in these dramatic times where we see the market blood red everywhere. So when I see a company like that that has that kind of staying power and that has that kind of investors that have that much faith in it, that gives me a lot more confidence in my own position. Now, I have a very large position in Palantir. I've been nursing it for a couple of years now and have a very good entry point. And I'm holding some leaps on Palantir that I plan to actually exercise as we get closer to that expiration date, because those are at like the $20 level. And the 200-day moving average is a very important average for a stock. And when it's under pressure, when the market's under this much pressure, you can expect that it will get there, but it has not gotten there. And so I have some potential plays that I put on today, and I'm doing these live for you so that you can see how to trade them. I'm going to use the Robinhood platform today and show you how you can get into Palantir if you have the same beliefs that I do, that it will be a generational stock. All right, let's go into the computer, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did so that you can try to mimic this if you're interested, either tomorrow or early next week. It's not financial advice. You have to do your own due diligence, but I'm showing you what I did. Let's take a look at some of the price action and the fundamentals and the technicals on Palantir. So today it was trading at around that $84, $85 mark. And here's the days range. It went all the way from 81 to 85. And then the 52-week range is 20 all the way up to 125. So this has been a pivotal 52-week dynamic for Palantir. Now let's look at the analysis to see how this company is performing. So what you're seeing right here is they continue to beat expectations on earnings. That's very good. You see that their revenue is strong. It continues to go up. And you see that they're bringing money to the bottom line. A little less on this quarter, but we will watch to see how they perform in quarter one. But still, they're profitable. And if you remember some of my older videos, I had talked about when they had become GAAP profitable, and that gave them one of the most critical criteria to be included in the S&P 500. It was 4 quarters in a row of GAAP profitability, and definitely they are staying on that track. So let's look to see what the analysts are saying. They're giving it a strong buy, a buy, and many are saying hold. Let's look at the price targets. So they're not very generous on the average price target. They're putting it at around 86. But it looks like the high end, it's showing at about 125 a year from now. Now, I will say that Palantir has continued to outperform what analysts think it will. So keep that in mind. And then we can't ignore the fact that it has shown incredible strength on one of the bloodiest days in recent history in the stock market. Let's go look at all of the technicals on Palantir. When you go to the chart, you can look at a 3-month or 6-month. If you are doing day trading or anything like that, you would want to look at a tighter range, like 1 day or maybe a 5-day. But let's take a look at what we have going on here. So you see that Palantir is trading in the mid-80s right now. And this band is showing that it's more than likely to go between 75 and all the way up to 96. So that's a nice $20 span. If you were to put the shares down at 75 and then be able to enjoy a $20 ride up, that is going to give you quite a bit of cash if the shares are called away at the top of the band. So that's very positive. Let's look at the RSI. So the RSI is right here at about 44. So we're under 50, meaning that the selling pressure is still stronger than the buying pressure. So that's important to note, meaning there could be more downside. We are sitting on top of an important moving average. You see right here, this blue, this is the 100-day moving average, and we're right there on top of it. So we can see if it pops below it, if it does end up wanting to go to the bottom of the band. And if so, that $75 put would potentially come into play. But there's something else that's really important here, and I want to zoom out and show you. This is the all-important 200-day moving average. It's a very critical indicator when you are looking at a stock and the health of a stock. And this is sloping upwards, which is showing us this is a positive sign that the stock continues to climb. Now, this 200-day moving average serves as a strong support for a stock, especially a quality stock like Palantir that has a lot of interest in it. So some individuals or institutions might set their buy orders right below the 200-day moving average, meaning if it pops below here, they want to grab it because they feel like it's a great value. So if you're trading this stock and you want to go further out, you may consider going down under this 200-day moving average for a measure of safety. Now, me and my members, we were just having a little fun getting some extra premium, and we actually sold a $50 put going all the way out to December, and that was paying really good premium. So that's something you could consider as well. Now, more than likely, we will go ahead and buy those back once the market starts coming back, and we'll just free up that cash for other trades. But this is a good look at the technicals, and it gives you an idea of how it may perform in the coming days and what are some great entry points. Now let's go play some actual trades. For today's demonstration, we are going to use the Robinhood platform. I think a lot of you are comfortable with it, so I wanted to show you a few different ways to purchase Palantir. If you're interested, you could just buy, number of dollars that you're comfortable with. I like how Robinhood does not require full shares. So however your budget is, however big it is or small it is, you could just buy in. You could also set this up on a reoccurring buy, but you could also do a limit order. So let's assume that you think that maybe Palantir will get down to $80, or you, for some reason, just want it under 80. So you say, I will buy it at 79. You just put your limit in there and you put however many shares that you want. Maybe you want 5 shares at the $79 mark. And what you want to do on the expiration, instead of today, you want to do good till canceled. Now, they put up to 90 days. They allow up to 90 days for this to stay active. But if it dips to $79 during market hours, it will fill. So that's how you would do a limit order and get Palantir lower than it's trading at right now. Now, let's assume you're comfortable at around the $80 mark. So let's go sell a put. I'm going to show you how that works. You go to Trade Palantir Options and you put in your expiration date. Now, you can do staggered expiration dates. I like to do that when I'm not certain if something is at the bottom. And so to do that, you would do sell, put, and maybe this is tomorrow that I want to put my first trade in. So let's see what it would look like. Okay, so at the $80 level, I'm going to get $54 to make this trade. So I think that is very reasonable. I'm getting paid, and then I may get the shares at $80, which is lower than we're trading today. I think that's a win-win. So let's review that. I do 1. This is going to represent 100 shares. Now, on this bid ask, I want to show you Robinhood always puts the least amount possible. So you may want to adjust this if you're trading this tomorrow and adjust it up. I could get as much as $58. So I'm not greedy. I'll go ahead and put in here, let's do $56 and see if that gets filled. It says low fill, but let's see if we can get a fill. Okay, good. It filled, even though it said low fill likelihood. I want you to all be aware of their shenanigans at Robinhood. Now, let's assume that you want to go a little bit further out. And if you're going to go further out and you're staggering these, let's go a few weeks out, maybe to the 17th. But since we're going further out, we want to more than likely average down. So let's look at a price lower than 80 in the event it continues to fall. All right, this one's really good. Look at this. I could get the $79 strike and get paid $3.20 a share. So that would actually make it cheaper than 80 because I was only getting 50 cents a share on the other one, 52 cents. And here I would get $3.25. So if I'm assigned, it would actually make this even cheaper. So I like this one. Let's do this. My expiration date is 4/17. Okay, let's adjust our strike right here. They are telling me 325 is what they want to auto-populate. I'm going to put in 330 medium fill likelihood. I could probably get 335, but for the sake of getting this done, let's go ahead and review the order. Okay, good. I'm getting $329. It's requiring $7,900 in collateral, and so that looks good. Let's submit that. Okay, good. That one was filled too. And then let's say your budget was for 300. So let's go ahead and look at one more option, and we're going to stagger this even further. This time, let's go out to May the 16th. The third Friday is usually a really good day to trade because that's when institutions are doing all of their buying. So let's go down here. This time, let's go to 75 because if I'm going to be put the shares, I really want to go down lower. I'm having to hold my money out for longer, and I want to be compensated for that. So I'm going to be compensated in the way of averaging down to 75. But look, I'm going to also get $595 for this trade. So I like that. We review the order. There, I'm getting $589. Submit. Okay, that one's done as well. So we just did 3 put contracts and we averaged down. So if they start to trigger, then that will lower our average on Palantir, and we got paid handsomely to do that. Now the VIX is high today, and that is what is allowing us to get more premium than normal. It'll probably be the same tomorrow, maybe even next week. So you have a little bit of time to be able to make trades that are similar to this one. Now, all of you that have been watching me for quite some time, you know I love to teach different strategies that you're interested in. So would you please drop a comment below and let me know which strategies are you most interested in learning? Do you want to go back to the basics of selling puts and selling calls and just zero in on that skill set? Do you want more complicated strategies? Kind of let me know what you're thinking, what you're interested in. I always love hearing from all of you. And I am going to leave a video that I am sharing with everyone about the SPY and the QQQ. I had initially filmed it and it talked about how to establish some leaps positions and then run a poor man's covered call on them. Now we've been doing that, but I had not fleshed out my entire position until today. And so that's very helpful because I was able to average down, but we've been generating some regular income with the ones that I actually had. And when we had 2 or 3 green days, they all popped green. Now they've retreated today and I added to it, but it just shows me the power of these instruments, these leaps call options on the SPY and QQQ. But I will tell you, you can watch the video, but I will tell you, I have noticed that the QQQ offers much better premiums. So if you're trying to decide if you want to do something similar to what I'm doing, I would go with the QQQ if you can only buy one. That one seems to offer more premium. There is more risk attached to it, but it's just funner to trade and I can get in and out in a matter of a couple of hours. And that way it kind of cuts down the trading day drama of having to watch it all day. I hope you found all of this helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Remember, if you're with me trading with Ashley, there is no trader left behind. Oh, and that video I promised you, it's right here.